Dual Threat: The Impact of Pesticides and Climate Change on Apis mellifera. Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Warren and welcome to my presentation for ENTO 320. Today I will be talking about two major threats to one of our most significant pollinators, the western honeybee, and how they work together to harm the bee health and survival. Let's start with the basics. Apis mellifera, or the western honeybee, is a species we rely on to pollinate fruits, vegetables, nuts, and so much more. Without these bees, our food supply would look very different and a lot more expensive. But bees are facing serious challenges. Climate change is making it too hot, too dry, or too unpredictable for bees to find food or maintain stable hives. And on top of that, many pesticides used in farming disrupt bee brains and bee behaviors, leading to serious long-term effects. So here's the main question I explored. How do pesticides and climate change jointly affect the survival of Apis mellifera colonies? Instead of looking at these issues separately, I focus on what would happen when both stressors hit at the same time, which is often the case in the real world. Let's dive into the results. I'll walk you through 4 key findings from peer-reviewed sources. In the first study, bees were fed tiny amounts of pesticides. Even though it wasn't a large dose, it still had serious effects. The bees started going out to forage or search for food earlier than they were supposed to. Not only that, but they made fewer trips and didn't live as long as healthier bees. That might not sound like a big deal at first, but it really weakened the entire colony. When bees go out too early or die too soon, they can't bring back enough food or help care for the younger bees. Over time, this makes the whole hive less stable and increases the chance that the colony could collapse completely. The second study used computer modules to look at how warmer fall and winter temperatures affect bee colonies. Normally, bees stay in the hive during cold months and focus on staying warm and raising new bees. But when the weather is too hot, it throws off the balance. The module showed that fewer younger bees survived the winter, and the colonies came out of the season smaller and weaker. This is a big problem because spring is when bees need to be strong and active for pollination. If the colony isn't healthy going into spring, it struggles to recover, and it hurts both the bees and the crops we're supposed to help pollinate. The third study looked at what happened when bees faced two problems at once: cold weather and pesticides. Bees that were exposed to both died much faster than those that only faced one of the two. This shows that when bees deal with more than one stress at the same time, it makes things a lot worse. Cold weather and pesticides are already hard on bees by themselves, but when combined, survival drops even more. It proves that in the real world, where both often overlap, bees are even more dangerous. The last study tested how pesticides affect the inside of the bee, mainly looking at their gut. Just like humans, bees have helped bacteria in their stomach that help them stay healthy. When exposed to certain pesticides, these good bacteria were killed off. Without them, the bees had weaker immune systems and were more likely to get sick. This made the whole colony more at risk of disease. So even if the pesticide doesn't actually kill the bee right away, it still can hurt them in a way that we cannot see, by making them more likely to get infections or spread illnesses in the hive. So you may be asking yourself, what do these studies tell us? Well, one, pesticide causes bees to start foraging too soon and often shorten their lifespan. Two, climate stress leads to smaller, older populations with fewer younger bees surviving the season. Three, when both happen together, the deaths of bees spikes even more. And fourth, these overlapping threats increase the risk of colony collapse all year round, not just in one season. These findings are important because they show how pesticides and climate change aren't just separate problems. They interact in dangerous ways. If you want to protect honeybees, we can't just look at one solution. We'll need a multifaceted strategy that includes reducing pesticide exposure and preparing for the effect of extreme weather. This is key for sustainable beekeeping, farming, and food population. Here are the peer-reviewed sources I used. You'll find the full citation listed here for each study discussed. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you understand how serious and connected these challenges are for honeybees. If you want to keep enjoying the few foods that we love, we've got to pay attention to the health of these tiny but mighty pollinators. Thanks again, and let's all do our part to protect the bees.